Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the Nicholas, actually. It's the Tier 5 American Destroyer, and the game actually was pretty outstanding. I'm trying to do some regrind for Research Bureau points. I would like to get my hands on Vampire 2 at some point in the near future, so this is the best way to do it. I'm going to talk about my build and the game. Now you can see the builds on the screen. It's pretty straightforward from a module standpoint. Main armament protection, steering and propulsion protection, improved gun accuracy. For the commander, incoming fire alert, preventative maintenance, last stand, adrenaline rush, survivability expert, radiolocation, and concealment. It's not departing much from... Oh yeah, and here's me attempting to use the super short-range torpedoes. Oh, by the way, those are super short range within detection. So it's not actually going to hit anything. So it was a mistake. But, you know, American DDs, they've got an awkwardness to them. They start out really weird. Like, they have gun velocity that's really made for camping behind islands. And then their torpedoes are super short range for most of the line. And then at tier 7 and 8, you get torpedoes with longer range, but they're borderline sea mine in their speed. So it's a line that doesn't really have the unifying identity from beginning to end. So you have to kind of play with it a little bit and just find where there are strengths and weaknesses, of course. Now we captured the base. I was making use of the smoke. I'm really trying to have like a valid strategy for every single ship line. And for the London just rammed right into the island. For the Americans, they don't really have gun velocity to engage something like a French DD or a faster DD. But they have really good gun velocity for firing over islands, firing from just out of reach of the enemy cruisers and battleships, and hopefully getting fires and AP broadside whenever possible. So that's pretty much what we're looking for. Some easy damage because we've already lost one friendly, and we don't want to overextend into death, because if we do that, most likely our team is going to lose. Now this enemy Colorado, very slow ship, very easy to track. He's kind of moving from the east to the center. He didn't like the amount of maybe friendly ships on my side, so I am attempting to set fire to him. While all this is going on, of course, you need to keep the mindset that every second you spend in smoke is another second that someone could send torpedoes or even ambush you, depending on the type of ship. Now, there's an enemy DD, at least I believe an enemy DD, that came in and tried to contest D point. In an attempt to disengage and not be completely overrun, I exit out the north side of the smoke and we run into the source. It's a Mutsuki. It's Mutsuki, I know, but it sucks. Even after all the changes, I just don't like him. He attempted to contest. He disengaged to the point where he's actually outside of D point. So this is basically our base for a little bit more. So I felt like, you know, there's enough friendlies that are either lower health and are spotted, or I am far enough away that the opponents that would actually fire on me, they would have to hit really nice shots. Not out of the realm of possibility, of course, but at mid-tier, it's less likely that the ships will be able to accomplish just that. And man, this London, I was trying desperately to get the last salvo on him, and we tried to attempt to have a shell over the island. Wasn't enough. He actually activated his heal and is attempting to recover some of that health. The west side, not doing too well. Not doing too well at all. It's starting out really bad. We've lost 3 ships. They're attempting to take D point from us. Lo and behold, the Mutsuki comes back to try and attempt to capture the base. This is really the only opportunity that the Nicholas is going to be able to use torpedoes. Even though there's torpedoes on both sides, they're just such short-range torpedoes that it's laughable to even attempt to use these. Maybe if there was a lot of enemies that were rushing towards me, I could disengage and get an extra kilometer or two. I'm not going to get that here. I'm in fact trying to chase this Mutsuki down, and I want to take him out, but D-Point communicates the intent. The guy moved back. He did not want to over-pursue. I mean, London's pretty low, so I'm going to just try some cheeky shots. I intend to try and steal the smoke that the Mutsuki gave up. And we're attempting to kill this guy. That's what I was hoping for. He was so low that if we just located our shells just right, probably going to take him out. And I have no idea how low he actually is. I'm just attempting to find him and destroy him. And unfortunately, we actually are detected by something that's very close. So that means that there's an enemy that's, yeah, within point blank. We can send torps, of course. And I strongly encourage you to at least attempt to do that. Because of the way he decided to send, I just cut my momentum and never moved. And thankfully, Friendly was able to do some good damage to him, make him a one shot away, and we actually get that one shot. So we got one kill. The enemy still has 3 kills to our 1. We have equal number of bases. And I am attempting to do something else because this is not good enough. We're still behind, and we need to try and make up some of what we are. And the best way to do that, work out some of the health of this guy. He can't run away. He's not going to stop being detected because of the Friendly DD on my east. He just has to disengage and angle, and he, of course, fire on cooldown. And if we can get 20, 30,000 on this guy, that's going to be 20 or 30,000 later that we don't have to deal with. He is the only one spotted. Now, if I see DDs or the London show up, they're definitely priority because we're really just farming damage on a battleship. He can recover it. It's not going to end him. Oh, the London, he was so low. You got to take the snapshot, right? You just have to. So we lead him in the direction he's headed, elevate the guns. All we need is one shell. All we need is one shell to knock him out. And the London gets away. I can't believe the London actually survived that. Man, and Friendly takes out the enemy Farragut, but we're down 3x. It's 5-2 on kills, and they still have a huge advantage. A couple enemy DDs in the area. I am kind of screwing myself with information, though, by staying inside the smoke. The London is a target that can easily die, and that'll give us one extra ship kill that we desperately need, without losing one, of course. And these enemy DDs, they're really aggressive. They've committed to a situation that they probably shouldn't have. And look at these guys, the Atlanta, the London, the Colorado. Getting rid of these 3 ships would normalize the game. There's one. Nice. It worked on the Atlanta. I was attempting to get in range of the London, and I don't know that I'm going to. I am keeping track of radio location. That is pointing me directly to the enemy DD, and looks like the enemy DD, they're done with their smoke. They exit out on this side. Of course, we run right into them. We don't have a smoke solution, so we've got to kill this guy and stay alive for 20 seconds. I didn't want this to end up being this way, but as it stood, it really was very easy to rack up enough damage to knock this guy out. He is a Soviet DD, so their turret traverse is horrible. So it's hard for him to change from the port to starboard. London still alive. I would love to get him too. And we're going to attempt to run into this other DD that was in this area. I really like cornering the map, using the island to block most of it, and to force a 1 versus 1. I feel very confident that the 1 versus 1 is an advantage for me, and that's why I always choose to do that. If you are someone who is uncomfortable with taking the fight at the right position, you should look to try and incorporate, you know, just keeping islands and stuff in between you and your primary. And, you know, if you look at the enemy, ooh, there's a London, we're gonna take a shot. We gotta curve this bullet around this island, and hopefully we knock him out. I would just laugh so hard. Yes, we got him. He attempted to smoke. Did you notice that? He overran his smoke. That is a no-go, and it led to his downfall. And we've actually normalized the kills. We're actually ahead because of the amount of kills that we've gotten versus them. So this is pretty cool. And I guess the time that we've had 2 base to their 2 base. Enemy DD somewhere in the smoke, I think. He might have exited out to the western side to meet up with maybe the Furutaka. But no, actually he's in smoke. And the friendly point-blank battleship is going to take point-blank torpedoes. Is he going to die? Please don't die. We're trying to kill him. He actually does kill him. Great. But we kill him in response. So it's still normalized. That is our 4th kill of the game. And we're the bottom tier ship. DDs have it so much easier than cruisers and other ships for being bottom tier. Because of the nature of the ship, I can rely on smoke to deny line of sight, so they can't even engage me if they want. And I can, ambush a DD just as any other DD. And ambushing DDs, it's more important that you get a good ambush off and have friendlies than it is to have that tier advantage. Enemy Furutaka, he tries a blind fire in the smoke out of frustration. It draws him to my ship so I can actually fire on him. But I am a little hesitant. Furutaka has torpedoes. There are enemy ships that last spotted were on a direct approach to the smoke, so they could continue that. And yes, the Colorado does indeed look like he is coming this way. So instead of staying in the smoke for a minute or 20, I decided to disengage and give myself a way out. Too many times I've played and I've been in smoke and the enemy has gotten inside of my detection and will just rush continuously to keep me detected until I'm dead. It's better to pull back and give up some damage. Otherwise, I could be in a position of no win, and I don't want that. I would rather have a disadvantage, but not a complete wipeout of my ship. So we left the south side knowing that there's basically 4 ships there. The Fiji, using his smoke, is on the northwest side of our B point. I am potentially getting in range to use my torpedoes, the short-range torpedoes. They are working on the Dallas, and I fear that the Dallas will be knocked out. So I have to do this pretty efficiently because the Fiji does kind of direct counter me, and he's 2 tiers higher than me, so this is very dangerous. But we do get just close enough that when he fires, the bloom actually occurs, and I immediately regret my life choices because he immediately bailed on the smoke, and I was like, oh no, we gotta angle as soon as possible. Please don't shoot me. Oh, the Fiji, you have a great plan, and then all of a sudden the light cruiser pops out of it, and it's like, oh, this is terrifying. But we held our fire, we just sent torps, and we disengage directly away from him. He is as afraid of me and my team as I am of him because of that shot from the friendly. Friendly Fiji actually takes out the enemy Fiji. That's nice. And we have equalized the kills once again. The enemy still has an advantage just based on the type of kills that they have. We still need to do work. We've done so much work this whole game, and it's still not going to be enough, and we're out of smoke. So the next best thing that we can do is rely on friendly battleships and cruisers to spot a target, get into a position where we can fire over the island. The American DDs can do this very easily. They're kind of like a Smalland. They're a Smalland DD. They're a small-ish Des Moines, Baltimore. They want to place themselves near an island and fire over it for free. And they want to do that frequently. I've been trying to make Americans feel a little bit more useful for me. I'm a DD main, as you guys probably know, and the Americans feel very power crept. They obviously don't have torpedo range, especially at this tier. They rely on smoke, which there's a lot of radar out there. And their gun velocity is very ineffective against targets that know where you are and are actively dodging you and have a decent range. If it's point blank, it's point blank. You can't really miss that. But at any medium to long range, it's like a 50-50 if you're going to hit your shell on them. So we finally see the Colorado poke his head out. I am considering sending torpedoes. I'm also hoping that we can fire on him over the island without being detected. And it does look like we just barely can get our shells over the island. In fact, most shells won't get over the island. And I need to decide for myself, do I want to keep firing and be spotted by the Furutaka and maybe take return fire, or hold my fire and reposition? I attempted to reposition. Most of the enemy is actually coming out for some reason at this exact moment that I choose to like rotate around. I'm not really feeling this. I was like, this is the perfect time for me to be in a camp position and fire, but I'm clearly not there. So we're just gonna do this as quick as possible. This is not optimal. I wouldn't recommend doing it in that exact situation. I would probably have camped on the corner of an island, but I was just trying to get any advantage I have from firing over. I want to try and just think very clearly about how I want to approach American DDs with the advantages that they have and see if I can get any success with it. I've had a lot of success in my Germans, for example. Obviously Brits, the French, the Pan-Europeans. I've even had some success in Torpedo Shimakaze. But for the Americans, man, with all the super fast movers, it's tough. It's really tough, and it doesn't get much easier. You just have to sort of deal with it in the best way possible. Either stay away from them or pick on them when they're already engaged with someone else. So I, once again, taking advantage of over the island shots. Definitely want to try and do that anytime that there's, knowledge of a player's position and there's no one else. It's just free damage. Yeah, they'll have an idea that you're there, but they won't see you. And they're probably sure that you are there. And we actually got a fire, which is cool, so we can check the top right corner to see if he's going to let the fire burn or use his damage control. I also sent my torpedoes, and yeah, he's going to let the fire burn. He also seems annoyed by my existence, so he fires on my position. We just barely got out there, and yes, we get Kraken. And that's going to be it. That's going to end the game, and we outlasted this one, and I'm really impressed by it. We're bottom tier, and we got 5 kills Confederate, and we won the game. Felt good, and yeah, chat, if you guys like what you see, we're going to do more of it through the Research Bureau and going up the lines and trying to really refine more recent play of all these ships. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you would like to subscribe, we do World of Warship videos. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you and have a wonderful day.